Good day, viewers. Welcome to a new edition of 30 Minutes, the interactive program of Trust Television with me, Manir Dan Ali. Our guest today is the Chief of Defense Staff of the Nigerian military, that is General Christopher Musa. We are in fact in his office at the Defense Headquarters where this edition of the program is being held. General Christopher Musa, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
I know your hands must be full with all the internal security challenges in Nigeria, the latest being the on and off issue of Plateau State.
Plateau State, yes.
It was around Christmas. There was one in Bokos. Now we are contending with another eruption in Mangu. Why is it that the army is being accused by both sides of maybe being one-sided in the conflict?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. You're welcome to the Defense Headquarters and Forces of Nigeria. If both sides are accusing the army, which means the army has been neutral, that it's worse if one side is saying the army is on its own side. What the armed forces is trained for is to be impartial, and that's what we do wherever we operate. And that's why it's important for people to understand that we are duty-bound to ensure that there is peace wherever we are. When the incident started, the military got in, and we're trying to make sure that both sides are kept apart. But you know, because of the vast nature of the area, as you are holding this area, some people will sneak in through the other part and then try to attack. And this was what actually is causing the whole problem. And to look at it is, you know, the just issue has been there for a very long while.
Indeed, for more than 2 decades.
Yes, and I can tell you the decision is political, it's not military.
Why do you say so?
Yes, because what are the agitations? Farmer herders clash, the issue of indigenship. These are critical areas that it's not the military that will find a solution to them. All we can do is to stop the killings. And until the people also accept to stop the killing, it will continue because we cannot be everywhere. And that's why it's important for people to understand that we all need peace. And if we need peace, we all have to contribute towards ensuring that there's peace.
Have you been communicating to the political leaders on the need for them to fix the problem, since you say it's a political problem?
Yes, you know, the political solution has to come from both I think from the federal, state, and the local government, all levels. And that's why it's important. And it is dialogue. We must sit down and talk to ourselves truthfully. What are the challenges? Why have we not been addressing? If you have a problem, it's just like injury. If you have injury and you've been taking a particular drug and it's not healing, you know that you're not actually treating it well. So you should look for what is really causing this injury and then treat it so that it can stop.
But the peace talk you are talking about has been on for many years.
Yeah, but
you have peace committees. In some states, you even have a whole government, parastatal, and agency that is to deal with that. Yet, every short while, there are these eruptions.
Yeah, then maybe it shows that probably we're not addressing the main issues. We must sit down and say, what is causing this problem? How do we solve it? This farmers' herders clash. It's a simple thing. I'm a farmer. My animals are caged. I have them in a ranch. I have grassland. I feed them. So if we have this issue of animals going into farms because we feel maybe the animal roots have been taken over, it's simple. Farm, build ranches. I was the first executive director of Nigerian Army Farms and Ranches. Our animals are in ranches. We built pastures for them, and then they eat. In fact, it is when you even keep them within pastures that you even make more money. Because if you sell an animal as an individual, you sell maybe 200, 250. If you slaughter the animal because of the other parts, you can make a gain of almost 400,000.
But you are talking of an institution like the military, which has deep pockets. What about the ordinary herders who have maybe less than a dozen cattle? They do not even own an inch of land.
That is why
so
I've told you. That's why I've told you it's a political solution. There's nothing. If the government wants to sort this issue, we'll sort it out. Why am I saying that? We can build ranches for them, and then the farmers. Remember, in the 60s, they used to pay taxes on animals. We don't do that anymore. Government can raise funds, build farm ranches for them, build water bodies, build dams, build grassland for them, and then they feed.
But even this idea that the government, I remember the previous administration toyed with it, not much was achieved, but lots of billions were voted for it. But there's a lot of pushback from a number of states who said,
No,
not on our land.
I think it's the approach. It is approach. Like I tell you, frankly speaking, whatever challenge we're having is something we can easily sort if we're really ready. It's a very simple issue. The North is blessed with large landmass. We have number of dams. Let's get to those areas. Government will procure those areas and use them. If you go to somebody's community and you want to use and he says, no, leave him and go to another place, he will come and beg you because he will need your meat. He will have to eat. So we have to look at these things decisively and be able to be dispassionate about it. And if we do that, I can bet you this farmers' headers clash will stop immediately.
So you feel then strongly that we are getting it wrong to think
I believe we have not
it is
addressed
an issue of the military coming down.
No, the military can only we can only stop anybody carrying arms, try to stop having conflicts with him. But you understand that crisis is normal human activity. Okay, look at what happened. It was an issue that somebody was on a bike and his bike hit some animals that were grazing, and then should resort to killing? So you see, because again, solutions have not been brought. Impunity has set in, and that is the danger.
So, and there's a limit to what you can do. The military
yes.
cannot always keep distance.
We will do the best we can to make sure they don't meet. But again, why should we even have this kind of clashes? And that's why I've told you it's important. If we can really stop the animals and the farms apart, keep them apart.
That is not possible. I mean, with the population explosion is the same.
No. Like that's what I've told you. At Vom, we have ranches. The animals are there. If you go there, you see one cow looks like an elephant because it's eating well, it's feeding well. If you take animals and you transverse with them over kilometers, they are not healthy. What quantity of meat are you going to get from them?
But is there enough communication with the harder communities? Because this is something they've inherited for millennia, and it appears the authorities, the government,
like I've told you, solutions have been, discussions have been made, committees have been set, everything has been discussed. Is the ability to implementation.
Is that conversation still holding at the high level where you sit with the
yes, we can only suggest.
Yes,
we cannot enforce. So we only suggest that for this to happen, we need political solution, and it is something we can do. I can tell you, if we sit down sincerely and discuss this and we will come to a solution, at least for the farmers' headers clash, to ensure that they don't meet.
Why is it that the military is unable to dominate the whole environment simultaneously? Operate in Katsina, in Zamfara, in Nasarawa, in Niger, in the FCT now, at the same time, so as to deal with all these bandits who have carved areas for themselves get rid of
if you consider the landmass we're dealing with, the North, this Bokos general area we're talking about, if you add it up, the entire area is more than the size of some countries. So how many men do you think can cover it? We can't be boots that will cover everywhere. It's not possible.
So you don't have the numbers?
Of course, we don't have the numbers. But we now have to leverage on technology. We don't produce technology. We have to buy. In buying, the country is also going through financial challenges. The military is not the issue that needs money. So, there's always that. So we have to manage with what we have.
But many people are saying that fix the insecurity, the other things could be solved. Because if you don't fix the insecurity, you can't fix the economy. Farmers cannot go to their farms. People are afraid and
it's true. I agree with you, but that's what we're doing. You see, now we have the south where we produce the crude oil. We're making all efforts to ensure that the production, because the production has really gone very low, and because we're not producing more, we don't have more money, and because of that, again, it's affecting the currency. So we are making efforts now. The production is increased. We want to take it to probably 2.5. If we're able to do that, I'm sure it will leverage a lot. So unfortunately, we're everywhere. In all the 6 regions, we're there, which is not supposed to be.
Yes, I see that now it's been said you are deployed in 36 states, including the FCT, because in the last few weeks, FCT is becoming a hot area as well. So how do you manage that kind of deployment? You must be spread very thinly.
Yeah, what we try to do is we work jointly. So we have the Army, Navy, Air Force, and then the other security agencies assisting the police. The police have more in number and they have more widespread. So we work together with civil defense, all together to add up the numbers to make sure that we're able to address these issues. But you see, the truth about the whole thing is prevention, they say, is better than cure. We must look for ways of stopping this thing from even happening. Instead of getting troops to go and deploy to stop something, why not prevent it from happening?
But now that it has happened,
Yes.
there are all these bandits there in the country, poking their fingers into our eyes.
Yes.
And we have you, the defense establishment. Isn't there a concerted plan to deal with it once and for all? So we have an idea that there's a timeline in a year or so, maybe we could put this behind us.
Okay.
Even if it involves, re-employing the recently demobilized.
I think we're doing that. Not demobilized. We're recruiting new hands on board. A lot of the retired people, yes, they are retired. A lot of them are so tired, we don't want them to come and get themselves involved in this. Let them, they have served their service, let them have their rest. The truth about the whole thing is that the issue of good governance, equity, fairness, justice in everything that we do, if we put these things in place, I can bet you Nigeria will be better. Now, you are telling somebody to be peaceful, he's hungry. A hungry man is an angry man. No school, no education, no roads. And this was how this thing started. And like I've told you, prevention is better than cure. Most of these things, we should have stopped them right from beginning, but we still have opportunity. The armed forces is doing a lot. In fact, it's not every arrest or everything that we do that comes onto the news. But I can tell you, we are doing so much with the little we have. All the security agencies, we are sleepless.
But still, a lot of Nigerians also are sleepless, and they get this sense as if the situation is getting worse rather than getting better.
Okay.
I mean, the one.
Okay,
the
let me tell you how it
example.
started. You see, normally it starts like criminality. This is always the trend. Criminality, it gets to banditry, kidnapping, then it gets into terrorism, insurgency. Now, by the time you are able to override those people and you are able to deal with them, it now follows that trend downwards. So you can imagine that now we're going back to criminality. So that is the trend. It goes up to insurgency, which is the top, and then it comes down to criminality. And why is it so? When there is so much unemployment, a person goes, we have had news of neighbors speaking, in fact, families. We had somebody who even kidnapped himself. The society has its own issues.
So the society is too rotten
to the society
for you to fix.
Family values. I mean, when we're growing up, these are things that were alien to us. But now you find out that even within a family, a brother will kidnap his younger sister or younger brother and tell the parents to pay. It is that bad because the society has been monetized. Everybody thinks when he gets money, his issues are there. And those are the things we need to go back. The family values have gone down. And that's why I appeal to the religious leaders and the traditional rulers. We must put emphasis on bringing back God, faith, and sincerity. Somebody mentioned that Nigerians were religious, but we're not godly.
Very important.
Very important.
Made there. But I think it's a very good juncture at which we could go on a short break.
Thank you.
And resume the discussion thereafter.
All right, thank you.
Viewers, it is 30 minutes, the interactive program of Trust Television. Our guest today is the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, it is 30 minutes, the interactive program of Trust Television, and our guest today is the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa. General, before we went on break, you are talking about losing family values, morality, and what have you.
Definitely.
But many people will say, well, the military is about force.
Yes.
And we have reached that point where you have to assert that you are there for the bandits to feel threatened and Nigerians to feel reassured.
Okay.
And
let me just ask.
Can you do that?
Yes. Let me tell you, now we're dealing with conventional warfare, unconventional warfare. Now, why is it difficult with unconventional? It has to do with ideology. You cannot look at somebody's face and know what ideology is in his mind.
But banditry is pure criminality.
They are working together.
Different from Boko Haram.
Criminals join together. Good people must join hands to fight evil. The mistake we think is it is only the military should do it. No. Let me tell you a shocking thing. Who are the people funding those guys? Who are the people giving them money? Who are the people giving them logistics to work? People are trading with them.
And information.
And there are people, immediately through spots here, people call them and tell them this route right here, they are this number with so many number of vehicles. There are people that do that. That's their business.
But a lot of people have realized that now, and they can see that it's a clear and present danger to the whole society.
Yes.
And many people want to cooperate, but yet
in fairness, people are really reaching out to us, and it has helped us a lot. But we still have some of these ones that are still, trading with them. We have doctors that go to the bush to treat them. In the north, we have women that carry women to go and give them at night to get money.
Yeah, I've seen video clips of some of the bandits with
musicians going
musicians and then all of that. So it suggests that it's a whole under whole society that is
true, because
there.
Maybe if he does it, if the man goes to sing somewhere, they might give him 5,000. Those guys, if you go and sing, they can give you 100,000 or 200,000. So when he thinks about the money he's making, he forgets about that. That is blood money.
So what's the communication strategy? Because you are not communicating enough. I don't mean just the military, the authorities are not communicating enough.
We have discussed, yes, there's this strategic communication very important, and the Ministry of Information through the National Orientation Agencies, I think that they are putting steps on ground to be able to address it. it is difficult for us to do the fighting, and we're coming out again doing the talking. People tend not to believe what we're saying. But the good thing is that, one, I'm sure the Nigerians have now seen that we have an armed forces that is sincere. I mean, we're sincere in all we do. When we make mistakes, we own up. We're human beings. Like the Tudun issue.
Where exactly are we on that investigation? Because you promised to do an
the investigation is all gone quiet. Yes. No, the investigation is going on. We don't want to rush them so that they don't oversee anything.
Is there a timeline?
Yeah, very soon.
As soon as in a week or two?
I can assure you that once it is ready, it will be the details will be announced. It will be published, so there is nothing to hide.
Why people are concerned is that when it happened in Nasarawa, with maybe slightly less number of casualties, those people who were loading cows, there was there didn't seem to be an investigation, or at least the public wasn't told this was the outcome.
Yeah, I think one way or the other, information was passed through. Sometimes, again, we're not the ones who relay. When we get this information, we'll pass it through the channel, and the announcements will be made. But let me tell you the truth.
Yes.
I was theater commander in the Northeast, had in K for 19 months. Sometimes we do an attack, terrorists will come to an area with weapons, do an attack, we kill them. Before you get there, all the weapons have been hidden. And they tell you they are civilians. How do you tell? We have had situations where we clear a village, clear everybody, the hands up, we clear them and tell them, not knowing that they have hidden weapons behind you. They go dig them out and attack you from the rear.
So it's quite complicated.
It's very, very complicated.
But there was also the accusation that even some of the military personnel have been drawn into the war economy, because they say that some of the dried fish we see from that area is controlled by the military.
I don't know who is saying. I don't know who is saying that, because there's nobody that is on the high sea that is packing fish. And
I'm talking about the Northeast.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Northeast.
It's famous for the fish from the Baga area.
What they do is that, because, like I told you, I was a theater commander, so I was in Lake Chad. What they do is that they dry the fish, take it through Niger. They don't come through Nigeria. They take it through Niger and through the border. Before you know it, they're taking it through Hadija straight to Kano or some other places where they have markets. They don't come through the country.
So in your stint there, you were never aware that soldiers were
No, we've had reports on that, but I can bet you that anybody that is caught, we have standing court martials. I have list of people, officers and soldiers that we have jailed because of one misdemeanor or the other. We don't hide anybody.
Are you improving your recruitment?
Of course, of course.
I mean, the way you recruit.
That's why you see we don't
rush.
We don't rush recruitment. Yes.
Sometimes you find that there are criminals who are in one of the security
Like I told
services.
you, nobody can read the mind of a person. I can meet somebody and he gives you all the impression that he's a good person, with all everything you believe. Then suddenly he turns to something else. Who would have thought Shaka would do what he was doing when he started? What was he doing? He was a petty trader, but he turned to a monster. And that's why it's important for the community to always be vigilant. When you see somebody showing those kind of character, don't keep quiet.
You earlier hinted about oil theft.
Yes.
Because it's the big issue. Nigeria is in a big foreign exchange squeeze.
Challenge, yeah.
I mean, our budget cannot add up and all of that. And
Yeah.
the only salvation could be higher crude
Production,
sales,
yes.
production. I mean, for the last decades or so, the situation just seems to be getting worse. In fact, now you have a private contractor being asked to supervise some of the oil installations. Is that an admission? The military
No.
and the defense
You see,
forces
like I told you,
cannot guarantee.
like I told you,
this.
we cannot be everywhere. Maybe it's important for you guys one day to take a ride into the high sea. You will see the vastness of that area. It is massive. Nobody can say he's going to have total control of that area. But so we rely on the locals. Like we did in the Northeast, we worked with the civilian JTF, we worked with hunters, we work with vigilantes. So wherever we are, we employ the locals within the area so that there are areas that we don't know. There are areas that they know. There are areas that their own boats, because they are smaller, they can get to. And look, they tell you the truth, most of them know these people.
So what exactly new are you doing to limit or eliminate this crude oil theft?
We're emphasizing on the aspect of widespread cover in the approaches. Now we're identifying these areas that wherever they take, they must pass through those areas. So we cover those areas. So even when you steal, you don't have where to dispense it. It's a problem. Last 2 weeks, I had to fly to Escravos because of an arrest of a ship. Now we're doing that intensively. And let me tell you, that crude oil theft has been happening for so long. Some people feel entitled. It's like their birthright to continue doing it.
And there are vested interests, powerful
so
people
many.
involved.
We've made several arrests. I've mentioned it the other day. We made several arrests. You arrest, you go, and then you see the same ship coming back. But I'm happy now measures have been taken. And that's why you see that we had to go through the crude way. We arrest a ship, we blast it. Unfortunately, it's a bad thing because pollution and all this. But we have found out that that's the only way. And since we started, people stopped leasing their vessels to be used for storage because you know that you not get it back.
But I've had incidences where there are accusations that soldiers, whether of the Navy or the Army, are involved in even escorting some of these
like I said,
thieves of
I cannot tell you
crude.
100% it is not true. We are human beings. No incident, no person, no individual, no institution that you say it's 100%. There might be very bad ones. But me, I have told you, anyone we catch doesn't go free. And we have also encouraged the other security agencies. The DSS is doing a wonderful job. The NIA and all this. And so once they get those things and give us those things, we'll pick them up quickly.
Do you have a means of keeping an eye on your men, especially those posted to this kind of sensitive areas where they suddenly become rich?
We have maps. We have.
And they didn't inherit the.
Yeah, so we take advantage of our satellites to see what it's doing. We have long range cameras that can see from very far. We have drones that we use now. We have so many things we employed using technology to get those things out.
But what I mean is your men, the men who are involved in these fields, because we hear stories that some of them have grown stupendously rich, and it's not because they inherited.
No. We're also even, like I said, as we're operating outside, we're also searching inward. If we find out anybody that is living above his means, you have to explain how he got his money. We do that.
What happened to the investigation well before you became Chief of Defense Staff?
Okay.
Of that general from Sokoto, in Sokoto, the one that was found to have lots of money that some junior colleagues were transporting and they were trying to make away with it. It was reported in the media.
That was a long time ago.
But then we never had
he was court-martialed. He was court-martialed from the armed forces. It was dismissed and the monies were recovered. It was done.
And then he was let free. He didn't serve any term or anything.
No. Well, it's the legal system. The legal system, they have their ways of doing it. But I know he went through court-martial. The monies were recovered. He lost. In fact, he was dismissed as a general. Dismissed.
What about the general welfare, especially of the foot soldiers?
Yeah.
Because, in the past, I know we no longer see those videos or audios of complaint from the military foot soldiers who say their allowances have not been paid. Is there any conscious effort to improve the welfare of the people who are putting their lives on the line?
When we started some years back, our ration cash allowance, what we call RCA, was just 200 naira. It was raised to 500 naira. Now it's raised to 1,002. And I'm sure if I ask you 1,000 to feed yourself for a day, you know how much that money is.
Exactly, that's the question I wanted to say. This sounds like the police, or is it the police where they say what they feed their dogs is more than, I think
what
it's the
yes.
prison where what they feed their dogs is more than what they provide. And that's why you see continually I try to
make, I know the country is going through so much, but I think the troops deserve more. Somebody who is standing 24 hours to make sure that other people can sleep, I think it should be there. I know there are challenges. The economy is not too well, but I think we can do well. My private soldier collects less than 50,000 a month.
So the big amounts are only for the generals?
It's not any big amounts. Everybody too is going through the same stress. I've told you, they feed me on 1,002 a day.
That is if you are in operation.
If I'm in operation, yes. If
there is no distinction between a soldier and a general?
No. That's why
you all eat the same ration.
All the same ration, we eat from the same pot.
So probably it will just be gari and groundnut.
Yeah, we try to do the best we can. I mean, it's just the truth. I'm just coming from the Northeast, so I can tell you for real. This is the truth about it. So we are always concerned about what our men are going through. It's not easy. They have families. You know, they have so many things to go about. But I'm happy that the president has listened and the president also has promised to take steps to see how we can address those issues.
And are you engaging with the legislature since they do the approvals? Yes. Are you engaging with them to understand the gravity of the situation?
No, I'm sure if you listen to Senator Indomie lately, Senator Indomie has been making, and so many other senators and House of Reps members, on the need to increase the welfare, to look at the welfare of personnel.
What about the actual numbers? Since you are spread too thin, isn't there a plan to recruit more? Especially since you show some aversion to remobilizing the demobilized.
No, we do recruitment. I know the army every year we recruit nothing less than 12,000.
But is that enough?
The police and the Air Force. Well, it is not enough. Efforts are being made to increase. The police, Air Force, the Navy are also recruiting. So it's not just one-sided. And to tell you, if you know how much it takes to fit this number, to just sustain them and pay salary is huge. So, and because again, we don't want to rush training. Because for us, a half-trained soldier is the most dangerous element. So we want to make sure that once you do your first 6 months, you come out, we'll give you another 3 months, so that we are sure that when you go out, you don't just go and start killing civilians. Now, what I wanted to tell you also is that why sometimes this operation is, you seem to be so long. It's not like the conventional type. If it was conventional warrior, I mark an area and cap a bomb everywhere, kill everybody in that place. But now we can't do that. The Tudunbiri incident, that was a mistake that happened. Look at the uproar. So that's the danger.
But aren't you been, using more technology there and also intelligence so that you can pinpoint where Dogo Gide, where Bella Turji, where all the other well-known bandits are.
But we have been taking down most of their commanders. We have been taking out a lot of them. Some of them it's just a matter of time. I guarantee you that we will get them. It's just a matter of, they too, they are smart. The way they move, they don't move as open as every other person. So we're following them and we're getting them.
If you are pushed to give a time limit, when do you suppose all things being equal, you could?
For me as a commander, we could have finished it yesterday, if we have all we require. But my dream is this year we should significantly be able to make sure that there is peace in the country as much as possible. We needed some weapons, equipments. The president has approved some funds. We're waiting to, once we're able to get them, we're able to deploy. We have extended our operations, have started fully. We're doing that. But our appeal to Nigerians is, first, please don't demoralize our troops. They are doing so much. I wish we can take them around to see what the troops are going through.
A very valid point you made there, and I think it's a very good juncture for us to end.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Viewers, that's the end of this edition of 30 Minutes. Keep a date with us.